So Aristotle says that without friends, no one would choose to live, though he had all the goods. Aristotle talks about this in his book, in the Nicomachean Ethics, which kind of talks about happiness, trying to find happiness and living a good life, right? Part of the book, he talks about having friends. And so he categorizes friends in kind of 3 different categories. And I think it's very important thing to talk about and to learn about, because we all have friends or have had friends where we can look at these moments at the friends we have now or the friends that we used to have and kind of like realize maybe what Aristotle was saying was pretty accurate, right? And so Aristotle had 3 different types of friendships, right? So the first friendship that Aristotle will bring up is the friendship of utility, right? So that's kind of like a coworker friend. It's kind of like a gym bro friend. That's kind of however you want to, analyze it. It's those types of friends. Now, the thing with these friends is that it doesn't last forever, right? So this friendship does not particularly last forever, and it only exists because you guys are gaining something from each other, right? Coworkers, gym bros, whatever the utility is, right? It's friendship of utility, so you're both gaining something by being friends, right? Helping with work, helping with the gym. But the thing is that once that utility separates and it's no longer, you guys are no longer gaining anything from each other, that's when the friendship starts to end. Aristotle says and he quotes that such friendships are easily dissolved. So this type of friendship with utility, once that utility is gone, you don't gain anything from each other, goes to a different job or doesn't go to the gym or goes to a different gym, that friendship tends to separate and go away, right? And it's not anything about betrayal or anything like that. It's just basically that the friendship is just used, right? It fulfilled its purpose, it's used, and that's about it. And the friendship kind of slowly fades away at that point. The second friendship that he talks about is probably the most popular one, the one that we can all kind of relate to probably, is friendship of pleasure, right? So friendship of pleasure is that you're friends because they're pleasant and enjoyable, right? You enjoy being around them. So these are very popular with younger people, very popular high school, college, 20s years old. And these are the type of people where you go out to bars, go out to clubs, party, dance, have fun, right? All these different things, but the friendship slowly fades away when the pleasure separates, right? You find different pleasures, right? So what you had in common with pleasure together, you kind of finding different pleasures, but maybe they don't see it the same way, and so the friendship kind of slowly drifts away, right? So that friendship typically ends when pleasure is separated and you find different pleasures, and it slowly ends in that way. Aristotle quotes that friendships of pleasure are dissolved when the pleasure ceases, right? Very common with young people. I think most people have had a friendship just like this, and it's not bad for the friendship to end like this or anything like that, for it to separate. It's just unstable at that point. But the third friendship that Aristotle will talk about, and this is the most important one, is friendship of virtue/character. So Aristotle believes that this friendship, he says that perfect friendship is a friendship of good people who are like in virtue. For friendship of virtue and friendship is where you both have virtues that you both like and want to acquire from like each other, right? So we all have virtues, right? And we all want to be somebody someday and have these types of virtues, right? Virtues makes up a huge essence of happiness. And so you have your virtue, and then you meet somebody who has theirs, and it kind of intertwines with each other, right? You're like, I like this guy's virtue. I like who he is. I like who he stands to be. I like that, right? And then he likes you for the same reason, or she likes you for that same reason. And so then therefore you kind of bond with this friendship, right? You see yourself in that person. And this is where the friendship starts to really boom up. The nice thing about this friendship is that it's long lasting. This is a type of friendship that Aristotle believes that will last you the rest of your life, right? It will last you the whole rest of your life, this type of friendship. But it is very important to remember that this friendship, he believes that it doesn't come right away. If you meet somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like my friendship of virtue or whatever, and it's like you only know each other for like a month or two. Well, it may not be, right? It may not be. At that point, it takes time. It takes a lot of time to know somebody. A lot of time, right? That's why people, it really takes time to really get to know somebody before you really take that next step, right? The nice thing about this type of friendship is that you respect one another, You always want each other to improve on each other. You want him to do better. He wants you to do better. She, he, whoever it is, you always want that individual to improve, do better, right? You just work on each other. And that's exactly the type of friend that you want, right? And then being honest with each other, being with each other. Honesty is obviously just key. I mean, I'm sure if you were to ask anybody, what's an ideal friendship? I feel like this would be the one that would pop up in people's head, where you help each other, where you're honest with each other, you're there for each other, and this is also the type of friendship where you want to see each other, like you want to see each other, right? Because this is such a good person, you like this person, you like the way he is, you like the way he acts. I want to be with this person. And so I think it's very interesting because Aristotle also makes this quote where he says, this kind of friendship lasts as long as the friends are good, right? Very popular quote in the Nicomachean Ethics, but it's very interesting. But just like I was saying before, time really shows who people are, right? So friendships like this, it takes time. You really have to get to know somebody, spend a lot of time with them, see how they are, right? They may be cool now, but in a few months from now, are they still the same? Are they the same under harsh pressure? Are they the same when they get mad, right? Like, it takes time to really realize these people. Like I was saying before, though, Aristotle talks about how a true friendship reflects your character back to you. He actually quotes and he says, "For a friend is another self," right? So, like, you should be looking at each other and realize, like, this is the person I want to be. I want to be a person just like this. It's them saying back to you. And just to wrap it up, not every friendship is meant to last. Aristotle talks about it's not meant to last. And people just change. People just change in character. To the point where it's just like friendship can just no longer really coexist with you as an individual. I mean, we change all the time, I mean, every year, every month. I mean, we're always changing what we see and what we do. It's just changing, and so it's okay to realize that, to let friends go, or and it's not about letting friends go and like you have to now look at your friends in these ways and pin them out because of that or whatever. It's just if friends do come in and out of your life, it's normal and it's a part of life. Aristotle just believes that finding that true friend of virtue and characteristic will really make your life so much better for yourself, having that person, right? Now, Aristotle never explains the quantity of friends that you should have with friends of virtue. He never dials into it. But obviously, we know it needs to be at least one. If I had to imagine, I would imagine that he doesn't want people to have a bunch of friends. I think it's pretty self-standard to realize that nowadays, that it's better to have a small group of friends that are really good friends than like a big group of friends, And I think you just build a way more better relationship with all these people with a smaller group of friends. But those are Aristotle's 3 ways. I just thought it was interesting. Everybody has friends. Everybody has people that they had in their life that don't anymore, but either they have friends now or they don't. And it's not any ways to mean to separate your friends or push your friends away because there are, like, it's just a way of viewing friendship in the way that Aristotle wants us to view it, to view and have that perfect life, and maybe trying to find that ideal friend if any possible. I mean, it's a big world out there. There's so many people. It would be impossible for me to believe that nobody could find a friend like that. I've been having, I feel like, troubles with my friends for, quite a while, and so that's why this topic really interests me, personally, but I think it's great, but I hope that everybody has a good day.